This is Heavy Conversation with Bruce and Jody, a podcast where we talk about being a big guy in today's world. I'm Bruce. And I'm Jody. Here we go.
Here we go.
All right, here we go. All right, here we go. What's up, Bruce?
Yo, Jody, how's it going?
Oh, doing all right. I literally just sat down and I was like, I'm kind of tired already. I don't like it.
I understand. I am happy to report that I am on the final beer in my collection.
Oh, the final beer.
Yes, yeah. So I have to go restock, but I, was really just trying to liquidate everything in the beer fridge because there's some stuff that have been in there for a while. I actually drank a holiday beer last week that had been in there since like November. So yeah, it was fine. Yes, it definitely reminded me of holiday gatherings and meals. Not quite ready for that yet.
Oh, it's coming. I know.
Oh, it is. But today's beer that I have is definitely, it's hopefully better. I have not tried it yet. I just cracked it. So yes. So today we're talking about technology. Technology that hopefully in the future, and in some cases the future is now, will help us find clothes that fit us better or get clothes made that fit us really well. Yes. So there was an article in the Wall Street Journal last week called "These Companies Have a Revolutionary Idea: Clothes That Actually Fit." And so it's basically about companies that are trying to solve a long-term problem that is one of the reasons that we're here talking about what we do and doing what we do, is that clothes don't fit bodies very well. And there are a number of companies that are trying to develop technology in the form of apps or websites that help make sure that clothes fit you really well. And they're in different stages of being created. And so we thought we'd kind of go through some of those and talk about what they're doing. And this is something that I've written about years and years ago. There was a company that did some of this, and I'll share my story with that as well.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, anything that'll help get a better sizing, get a better, because that's the eternal issue, coming from a brand. We're always kind of tweaking and updating depending on customer feedback, but then you fix something for this bunch of people and then this bunch of people doesn't like that. It's just a constant
there are a lot
back and forth.
A lot of problems and a lot of not even just problems, but a lot of barriers, hills that you have to climb to make it work, because not everybody has the same type of body. And so trying to get something that fits you well is very difficult. And so these companies are trying to make that easier in a few different ways. And the first one that they talk about in this article is called Alvanon. Not to be confused with Al-Anon. Alvanon.
I know. I was like, no.
Yeah. They're developing a consumer app for people to create virtual body avatars from their measurements or their photos. And it basically lets people see how clothing will fit on their body. So takes out some of that guesswork. Basically, they're trying to put this thing together where they will share, they'll work with different brands to kind of connect people looking for clothes with the people who are making the clothes and help you get a better fit. So they have a whole app, and the app is basically I'm looking at some of the examples now, some of the shots they've gotten. It's it shows this person's body, and then it has it's like a mannequin looking avatar sort of thing that is the shape of this person's body, because you scan your body in basically. You can do this camera capture kind of thing, but it also shows the avatar, and then it has shoulder width, bust, under bust, waist, low hip, inseam, arm length, thigh. So obviously they're aiming towards feminine bodies with this screenshot, but that's not where they're going to stop. So Yeah, the app is called My Alva, and it's still in development. Supposed to start beta testing in the next few months, and they're not sharing what brands they're working with or anything like that. So, with a lot of these, I would not be surprised if they start with women's clothing because that market is so established and so large. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's an interesting thing because it does show that, and then there's another screen that shows like body fit analysis, and it shows, I guess they're looking at a recommendation that the app has given them, and it's like an orange cami dress and your recommended size, and it shows like, small, medium, large, and then it's got one of those circled, and that's how they can find it. So I'm curious how well something like this will work with a bigger body.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not, because it looks like this is trying to, yeah, I'm confused a little bit on what I think they're working directly with the brands or the manufacturers. This doesn't look like it's a something that consumers, well, maybe it will be, but
Yeah,
consumers use themselves.
right. So it does look like so what they're trying to do is they do want customers to get the app, put in their measurements. Basically, it looks like what this company is trying to do is they're making this app, they're getting all these measurements and all of that stuff, and then they're going to give them recommendations based on their sizing.
Yeah,
Or I'm guessing they will be able to search, and find things that way as well. But the app's going to make money probably through these partnerships. And I mean, there are lots of ways that they can make money off of something like this. But if it works, that's a great thing. It can actually show, different. It can give people more better options. It can make sure that you are more accurate and that you're actually getting clothes that fit you. Now, I have a story about doing this myself. Probably 5 or 6 years ago, I wrote an article for Chubster about a company that was trying to do this. They were basically, the way that it worked at that time for this company is that they said, we want to get exact body measurements, and when we get those, then we will make these clothes for you, and we'll get you clothes that are in your size, exactly how you want them made. And so you could say you wanted a pair of jeans and you wanted them, higher cropped, so people like me who have short legs, that's a good way to go. You want all these different things, you can get all those customizations, and the app is scanning you and getting your sizes. So in theory, it's really going to work, and you're going to get something that actually fits you.
Yeah.
Now, part of this was that when you sign up and you download the app, they would send out, they had a suit. Basically, it was like a spandex suit, and it was black and white polka dots, and it was like an entire bodysuit. This, just like you
like
got into this
Spider-Man suit or something.
Totally.
Okay.
Totally.
Okay.
And so they would ask you for your size, and they had a bunch of different sizes of this. You'd get into it, and then you would use the app to measure yourself, basically to scan your body. And so it had all these points, and so it would make this representation of your body. And so I got this, and I went through the process, and it does exactly that. It actually made like a 3D basically model of my body.
Yeah.
And then I could go in and I could order, like, they had button down shirts, t-shirts, and jeans, I think. And so I went through that process, got the whole thing, ordered the stuff. There are pictures. We'll have to put a picture up on social of me in the suit because it was phenomenal. The suit is great. So I've still got it around here somewhere. I had to keep it. It's slightly hilarious. It's like, you could wear that for, I don't know, Halloween or something. It'd be you'd have most of your costume put together.
Okay. So does that mean it wasn't a great
it just looked very funny, me in this entire like spandex.
That suit thing.
Yes.
I thought you meant
no, not the clothes.
Sorry.
So I went through and I ordered the clothes, and when they got here, the measurements were off. It wasn't quite accurate to my sizing. The waist was too big. it just the shirts were the shirts were too short, and the kind where you lift your arms and the shirt comes up. So there were problems like that. Soon after that, they stopped doing that project for a number of years. Now the company has come back. They're not mentioned in this article, so I don't know where things stand, but I know earlier this year they had reached out and I talked to them again. And
Nice.
yeah, it sounds like they've got a round two that they're trying that should be a better option. So that's all of that is to say that people have been trying to do this. Companies have been trying to break into this and do, you know, get sizing right for years. And being able to do that virtually and do it through a phone is a potentially huge moneymaker for a lot of
Absolutely.
companies. And it
Absolutely.
could really uh, give companies a lot more information on customer sizes. It could really help for those of us who are bigger and we're looking for those things, not just for us personally to be able to find things, but also for these companies to be like, oh, well, there is actually a sizable portion of our customer base that is above a 3X. We need to make these clothes better for them, or they can see these things and kind of figure out how to make clothes better
Yeah.
in general. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's an interesting read. So you should definitely check it out. Alvanon is the first one that was mentioned. There is another one, and I think you looked this one up, didn't you, Jody? It's Ballodana, I think is what they're called.
I mean, I pulled it up. I noticed that they were, looks like they're mostly focused on feminine bodies right
Okay, yeah,
now. But that's great. And it's
yeah,
like dresses and stuff like that. But I didn't really read much about it after that, after I pulled up
yeah.
their site.
So it looks like they are using AI to get measurements based on shoppers' photos. So I've seen some of some of the AI images that are created where it gives people like 17 fingers and things like that. So I definitely believe that AI is going to get to the point where they can really get that spot on, but I'm curious. I would be very curious to see, you
Mhm.
know, how close is it actually? So right now, yeah, like you said, I mean they're only doing women's clothing, so we'll have to keep an eye on that and just see. It feels like that's where they would start, and that makes sense, but I can't imagine them just staying there, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, once they get some of the kinks worked out, I think
Yeah.
they'll
It
know how to
does.
do it.
Yeah, it does say they allow customers to enter their own body measurements to guide designers as they're creating the bespoke items. So it's all made to order, which is the other thing
Hmm.
that's good. So they're putting in their own measurements and they're using this AI to get their measurements from the photos. So
Hmm.
yeah, I mean
Goodness, they
they're
have a lot of measurements you need to take.
yeah, and it says, and that was one of the things that I've seen with some of these where you're trying to go through and get your measurements for made to order stuff online is that um, when that first started, they were really trusting that you would be able to get your measurements
Well, yeah,
perfectly, and that does not happen.
that doesn't happen.
Yeah, so that it's
Even when I was measuring people, it wasn't like always exactly. It just sort of, it was like, okay, this is a good place to start,
right,
but you
right,
might need to wiggle up or down a little bit.
totally,
And then having like, if you're, there's no, I mean, you couldn't even do most of these measurements yourself. You
sure,
have to have someone to do that.
right, yeah,
So
that's the thing. And so then if you're trying to do them yourself and you're not able to get them right, then you're
yeah,
getting a
you're
piece of
gonna get a
clothing that doesn't
Halloween
fit.
costume.
Totally. So yeah, that's where I do think some of these where they're able to scan you or they put you in some kind of suit and
Hmm.
take your measurements off that. I can see those kind of things working where it takes the user out of that part of the
Well, yeah,
process.
exactly. The user error is going to be.
Right. So the one that I'm most excited
I
about
mean,
in
the
this,
what I sorry, I'm going to interrupt.
sure.
I think what
Yeah.
they should do is use all those body scans we already get from traveling
Oh yeah,
every
right.
time.
Yeah.
Like, can't we just upload that somewhere?
Yeah,
We get scanned
right.
every time we go somewhere, and you see
Right.
it, like the outline of your body.
True. if there were, even if, they weren't able to get them from, from the TSA, then having like stores that you could go through and you basically walk through the machine, they scan you, something like that. I could see that working. It's like a tech forward version of like, Indochino has shops, or
Yeah.
Bonobos, or, places like that where you can go in and they'll do your measurements and then get you into something. Being able to just walk in, go through the machine, boom, there you go.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then there's
So
a machine in the back printing out your clothes.
right. Quick and easy. We'll
Yeah.
get to that point, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So the one that I'm most excited about in this article is they're based in San Francisco. It's a startup called Unspun, and they use 3D body scans of customers to make made to fit jeans. And their jeans, they have like 14 different styles. They run about $200, and you can get them in about 3 weeks. And so they have a 3D weaving machine that they showed at New York Fashion Week, to show how it works. They a lot of these things that they showed at New York Fashion Week apparently will be available next year, but you can go to their site now and order jeans. I kind of went through a little bit of the process today to kind of check it out. And there are a lot of questions that it asks you as far as what you're looking for, wants to know your age, different things like that, it takes you through this quiz to kind of give you, help you find the options that are best for you. And then it kind of digs in from there. And it's cool. I mean, the jeans themselves look good. I would be very curious about what the fit is like and how that entire process works. They do have, they have like a 100% satisfaction guarantee, the whole kind of thing,
Yeah.
So they want to get you into something good and make sure that it fits. We're always looking for jeans. I think for some people, they will balk at the $200 price tag, but for a pair of jeans that, knock on wood, are going to last and fit you perfectly, if you're not having to buy as many pairs of jeans, and you got something that's going to work, then, I mean, it could be worth the price.
I mean, quality denim is, at least a couple $100, or, depending.
Totally.
And I still have those jeans today,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Some of them still fit, but
right.
I'm gonna outgrow them before they'll wear out, probably.
Yeah. I've only ever purchased a pair of jeans, like an expensive pair of jeans, once. I paid about $250, and they were amazing. They fit me perfectly, and I wore them until they fell apart, and then I got them repaired and wore them again until they fell apart, and so I definitely think that there's a market for this if they can do it right. I would be curious what the quality is like as far as the denim and the product they're putting together. Like, are we looking at like fast fashion level, but made to order? Are we looking at something that's
I can't imagine that it would be, because it's just not gonna, you're not gonna be able to afford to do all that just for a pair of pants that are gonna not last,
right?
Like all that time and effort, and then no.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's So I'm going to dig into this more, and there will definitely be an article on Chubster about this, because I think it's really interesting, and eventually they're going to get this right. There are a lot of problems with it still, even with just using the apps and getting the right measurements. I mean, I told my story, but they talk about that in this article as well, that like knowing how to position your body in front of the phone, or your camera, is really important. So getting that right, it's kind of like if you've ever ordered glasses online, you can do the thing where you scan your face, and I just did this for an upcoming Chubster thing last week, and I mean, talk about looking hideous, man. Some of those photos were frightening. It took me probably 4 or 5 times to just get my face right to where I would actually wear my glasses so that it fit. And so like the first couple times, it had the glasses, they were where they were supposed to be, but the arms were kind of off and crazy, and all that. And
Yeah,
so
I've done it a few times, and it look, it's a little weird, but you get the general idea.
right. And you have to have good lighting. I'm going to say that because if you're doing it in a dark place, it comes out real bad. So so yeah, so I think it's just kind of learning this tech and these companies that make this kind of technology, really getting it down into a way that like a really simple process. So I do think this is something we're going to see more of in the future, and I'm excited to see, when they actually get it right. So yeah, I'm definitely going to look into this more and reach out to a few other companies that are interested in some of these things and kind of see where it goes. Hopefully
Absolutely.
have something cool to talk about.
Yeah.
So
It's all this tech is going to be interesting. Yeah. I'm excited and nervous about where it's going to lead and what's going to happen.
yeah,
What do you got there?
my final beer feels like beer time.
Okay.
So my final beer is from my hometown of St. Louis, Missouri. It is the Pharmacy Porter. It's from Perennial Artisan Ales, and yeah, they've made some really good ones that I've been able to get out here. Some of the beers that I want to get from St. Louis, I can't get here in Portland. They don't ship out. So, if anybody wants to send me a Schlafly Kolsch, I'm down. So, but yeah, this is the Pharmacy Porter. It's a German style porter inspired by tradition and friendship.
Ooh,
you can't go wrong there. Oh yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good. It is. It's German style, so it's not like, it's not like super heavy. I mean, most porters are really pretty drinkable. Yeah, I like that. Let's see. Malty for sure. This was brewed in collaboration with the Pharmacy Burger Parlor and Beer Garden in Nashville, Tennessee. So there we go. Friendship reaching across state lines.
Reaching across.
Yeah, I like this. This is good. It's really good.
Nice.
Yeah. So as my last beer in the beer fridge, it's a good way to clear it out.
I have, and I'm not exactly sure how to say it. Gaijin Dream.
Yeah, Gaijin Dream.
It's a Japanese style lager from Stickmen Brewing, which I'd not heard of, but it's in Tualatin, Oregon here. So
nice.
I thought I was reaching out, but not that far.
Well, to be fair, the Portland metro area has so many breweries.
I know. I was like, oh, I don't know that one.
Right.
So it is brewed with Pilsner malt and flaked rice.
Oh.
But then it's finished with Willamette and something Ace hops. Clean throughout with some malt sweetness balanced by the lemony hops. And I've already been enjoying it throughout the podcast. It's pretty good.
Very nice.
It's nice.
Good. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I like
the chill beer
label.
Yeah.
It's nice to have a chill. Yeah, chill, easy beer. I mean, we're getting into Oktoberfest time, and we're getting into the holiday beers and fall beers. So we may have to figure out a beer tasting in the somewhat near future.
Oh yeah, we might have to go to what's that little town?
Oh yeah, Mount Angel.
Mount Angel, yeah.
Yeah, so
go drink some monk beer.
Yes, outside of Portland, there's a little town called Mount Angel, and they have a really big Oktoberfest that lots of people go out to, and the town. There's a part of it that's very Bavarian themed.
Oh yes,
it's fun.
It's kind of weird, but yeah,
it's crazy. I mean, it gets packed, but yeah, that could be fun.
All right.
So yeah, I mean, aside from that, I feel like the last few days it's kind of been just like all about tech. Apple made their announcements of their new products.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Everybody's trying to figure out if they're going to spend more of their hard-earned cash on new watches or the iPhone 15. And they definitely they made them appealing. Now for me, I'll say that I'm probably not gonna upgrade. I'm definitely not gonna upgrade my watch. I've got the Apple Watch Ultra that I've had since it came out, and I love it, and I see no reason to upgrade. They do have this thing, and I couldn't tell if it's just in the new watches or not, but if you get a call or want to make your watch do something, you can like do this, like double tap your fingers, and the watch, I guess, can tell like the change of blood flow or the way that your hand moves.
Oh, on your hand?
Yeah, you
The
just
watch
like
hand?
you just
Oh, I
do
thought you
this.
meant you did that on your watch.
Yeah, no, you just do this with your hand.
You just
and
like
just
click your fingers together?
yeah, basically like a double tap,
That's
and
weird.
yeah, it's crazy. So that is you know, there were other things that kind of stood out. I think I've got the iPhone 14 Pro, and it's been good. Everything has been good except for the battery life, which sucks.
I know. I don't know which phone I have, but the battery is just awful.
Yeah, and so they're making the pros out of titanium, or there's like a titanium, I don't know, it's like dipped in titanium or something like that.
Right.
So so it's supposed to make it a little lighter. The back of all of them has some kind of, I guess, glass that has the color infused into it. The regular iPhone 15s have wide variety of colors. The Pros do not. They have I forget what they call them. They've got all these different colors: natural titanium, blue titanium, white titanium, and black. So if you liked your space gray, or if you liked the natural titanium, looks a lot like what a MacBook looks like. I have long wanted a blue iPhone, which I don't know why it matters. It's like, does it matter since you put a case on it?
Exactly. I know. I'm like, that's what I always say. I'm like, I don't care what color, because I always have a case on it, so you can't see it. So it
right.
matter.
Right. And then the problem is, I'll be like, one year I was like, well, let's get a clear case. And so I got the clear case, and then all the crap that gets into the case you can see. And one of the cases turned yellow. I think I bought like an off-brand cut rate case and learned my lesson. So, but I do like the white titanium. I like that white, and I like the blue. So as far as like, there's a new chip. They're showing that you can play like console video games on your iPhone with this fancy new chip. So
bionic chip.
Yes. Yeah. So, it's may or may not be true. Maybe it's true, but the battery life for that, I can't imagine is anything good. Where they are like blowing it out of the water is with the camera. Apparently they've like taken it to the next level with camera quality, and it's a 48 megapixel main camera. And they always show like the photos that they take. They have like a photographer come in with what I'm guessing with a crew. They set up the lighting, they take these phenomenal photos, and I'm like, yeah, I love that. But am I going to be able to recreate something like that? There's
oh my God, some of the hacks that I've seen little videos of, like, oh, and then you do this, and then go to this setting and do this, and then put the contrast up to this, and I'm like, I'm not going to do that on every goddamn photo.
Exactly. So so there's that, but there's also, they have multiple focal lengths. So one of the problems that most people, if you've got an iPhone, is if you see like a beautiful mountain in the background, on the horizon, and you want to take that photo, when you look at the photo, it's horrible. You can barely tell what you're seeing. It's not good. Well, they've added these focal lengths, and they're saying that it's 7. It's like having 7 pro lenses in your pocket, and they show that it goes from like a 0.5x ultra wide, where it's like a macro, all the way up. And so what they did is they've got this series of photos where they start like really close on this field, and like the flowers in this field, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger, and then there's a person in the field, and then there's a mountain in the background, and so you're getting all of these great shots, and they've got like a telephoto lens to get really close up, so it may take care of uh, some of the issues there. And apparently they've also built something in that makes it so that you don't have to switch to portrait mode when you take a picture, that it can show you, you can automatically see whatever photo you take of a person in portrait, like it automatically does it. So you can keep that if you want, or you can, you know, whatever, you can go to it later in the Photos app and do that. So I like the idea of that. For a while I was really like, with an iPhone, it would be great to be able to, just actually take really good photos and just use that for most of my work. And I found out pretty quickly that that was not going to work. And so they've changed a lot of things with the cameras for the Pro line, for the Pro and the Pro Max, that really get that and make it something that you could actually do. And the big thing that they changed is there's no more lightning cable. So now they're using USB-C, like basically everything else. I think there was an EU thing where they were like, you have to use USB-C, and so they changed it across the board. So you can charge your phone, your new iPhone 15, with the same cord that maybe you would charge your MacBook or other devices that use USB-C. So there are a bunch of other things, but the things that really stuck out to me were some of those things. So it's faster. It says that as far as battery life, it doesn't look like there's been that many changes. So
Right.
there's that. But yeah, and then iOS 17 comes out. Well, I think it comes out. Is it
Just in time for the new phones?
Yes, it comes out let's see, it's out as you're listening to this. It is out. Been out since yesterday.
Yeah, so it makes all our phones go to shit.
Yeah, so it looks really cool. It has a whole contact thing that looks neat. There's a bunch of things, name drop, contact posters. I forget what the other things are, but it's one of those where you'll have weeks to try and figure out how to use the new iOS. But yeah. So I don't know. I'm on the fence. I'm like, in the announcement for the Apple thing, they showed the iPhone, I guess the 15 Pro Max, maybe, all set up with all these all this photography gear. And now, because it uses USB-C, you can plug in a ton of other things to it that you couldn't before. So external, these external memory and all these other things that cameras, that more professional cameras use. So I'm curious how that's actually going to work out, and how, when pros get their hands on it, is it going to be that good? Is it going to actually work? So yeah, so that's about it. So I'm on the fence. I would be curious to hear what other people listening are thinking. Are they gonna make the jump? And yeah, we'll see.
I think it's time for me to. I'm on the 12 still. So
yeah. Well, this would be a perfect time then, because that would definitely be a jump up from the 12. So nice. Well, good
times. Yay, new stuff.
Yes, yay, technology.
And like you said, trying to figure it out.
Yes, always fun. Well, cool. Well, there we go. So we've talked about a lot of tech, and curious what you think, if you've tried any of these sizing apps, or if you're interested in that. We'd love to hear about it. So hit us up on social. Heavy Convo, Heavy Conversation podcast. We're all over. We're everywhere. Yeah.
Well, thanks, Bruce.
Thanks, Jody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Heavy Conversation. Be sure to like and subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.